Hi everyone, I'm Megan and this is Beguiled by Books, a community of book lovers and word nerds. Today we're diving into myth and magic and some modern retellings of old stories that are absolutely worth your time. Let's get started. From Greek gods to Arthurian legends, from trickster spirits and long lost loves, these stories tap into who we are from a human experience. These feelings of power, identity, grief, love, loss, they are baked into the core of every single person's identity on this planet from all generations before us. That's why these stories survive and survive so beautifully. So, why are we craving these stories now more than ever? Part of it is probably a cultural nostalgia type thing. When the world is changing so rapidly, faster than any of us can really keep up with, we're looking to the past to find stories that resonate with us. But we can't just read stories published in the past. We crave that novelty, those little dopamine gremlins in our minds. We crave novelty and adventure. So, by taking old stories and old themes and placing them in the modern realm or in a fantasy world altogether, it makes it so much more fun, which is why you're seeing this renaissance of retellings happening right now. Let's talk about a few books that are great retellings of some ancient stories. The first one that always comes to mind for me is Circe by Madeline Miller. I loved this book when I read it, and I will happily recommend it to anyone who's interested in a Greek-ish, Roman-ish retelling of a story. In traditional lore, Circe is portrayed as a witch who's really vengeful and kind of bitchy, to be honest. But in Madeline Miller's version, she takes Circe and turns her into a victim who doesn't allow that victim mentality to run her life. Madeline Miller centers Circe as a very complex and very powerful woman who, yeah, she turned men into pigs, but that's not the only thing going on with this woman. We're exploring what it means to be human, what it means to be faced with challenges that are not of your own making that you still have to deal with. It's a great example of the phrase, it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. And it's done in a fiction way, it's done in a very powerful, evocative way. So definitely check out Circe if you haven't read it, but it's a great retelling of an older myth. Another one by Madeline Miller, which I personally despised, but it is still a good retelling, is The Song of Achilles. Now, the reasons I disliked it are spoilers, so I'm not going to talk about that, but feel free to drop some comments or shoot me an email if you have questions. The Song of Achilles takes the traditional myth of the Iliad and reframes it through the eyes of a side character. So this character getting to witness everything, getting to see firsthand what's happening rather than through the main character's eyes, is a really interesting dynamic. Now, again, I didn't love the book for a lot of other reasons, but I loved the thought of taking a traditional story, telling it through the lens of a different character, because those are so powerful and it makes you think about other stories and people whose voices have been forgotten in history and in storytelling. Another underrated gem that I adore is the Legendborn series by Tracy Deonn. Now, what Tracy Deonn does is takes the Arthurian legend of magic and Merlin and Camelot and Excalibur and the Knights of the Round Table and sets it in present day. The wielders of this ancient power are generational descendants of King Arthur, but she puts in a few twists, not in the ways that you'd expect. It's a fascinating modern retelling of an ancient myth and storyline in the King Arthur and Camelot world. Definitely one you should check out, but it's so popular because it's also done from a YA perspective. So rather than a stuffy old white dude from England, we have a modern young Black woman not only grappling with this realm she has discovered and finds herself in, but also just in the context of what it means to be a modern young Black woman in the southeast of the United States in present day with everything going on. Beautifully done series. It's not done yet. I think there are two more books coming, but Phenomenal first three. Can't wait for the rest. Definitely a retelling you should check out. Modern retellings matter more than we can really truly know. These aren't just clever rewrites of old stories. They're shifts in our thinking. They're shifts in how the story is evolving generation to generation. Now, I want to hear from you. What are some modern retellings of myth and magic that you've read that you absolutely loved? Drop me a comment and please share. I'm always curious. If you like this video, got something from it, have a book you want to read now, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. And as always, sign up for the Growth Library course if you're interested in leveling up in health, wealth, and wellness. Until next time, happy reading and have a phenomenal day.